Rising from the ashes like a phoenix are the Whitebeard Pirates returning in OP08 Two Legends with the brand new Marco leader. And if you're looking for how to play him, here's everything you need to know. Marco is a new red-blue dual-colored leader with 4 life and 5k power with a Dawn 1 activate main ability. If this leader has a Dawn attached, draw a card. Then place a card from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck, and give one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for the turn. Ladies and gentlemen, Sakazuki's back! Okay, not quite. I mean, it doesn't have the overpowered combination of black reduction into blue bottom decking, and, you know, this guy. But it does come with blue card selection, allowing you to also set up the top of your deck for cool blue combination plays, and the built-in power reduction to play into red power-based removal cards. Having access to these tools really opens it up to unique deck-building strategies that focus on cheating out strong characters from the top of your deck, while also controlling board through power reduction and power-based removal. But we'll save the latter for the back half of this guide, because it requires looking at some of the new pickups from Starter Deck 15 coming in October. To contextualize the power level of the cards we'll be cheating into play, we first need to look at the 2 cards that are going to let us do this in combination with our leader's ability. OP08's Porcus D Ace and OP06's Sanji. Ace is a new 5-cost, 6k power character with 1000 counter and an Onplay ability that reveals the top card of your deck. If the card you reveal is a cost 4 or less Whitebeard Pirates type character, you can put it right into play. Afterwards, you can put any remaining cards on the top or bottom of your deck. With this, we're able to turn 5 Dawn worth of play into 9 Dawn worth of characters. And, in combination with our Marco's ability, we're not blindly checking the top of our decks. We can set up the exact card Ace is going to cheat into play before playing the Ace, making our moves that much more devastating. Plus, it doesn't end with just getting an extra body. There are tons of great on-play and combo abilities that you're going to get off of these characters once you put them into play. Thanks to OP08, we now have an amazing suite of blue Whitebeard Pirates cards, focused on being cost 4 to pair with this ace. First is Speed Jill, a 4-cost 5k power character with 1k counter, and on play, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Whitebeard Pirates type card, Speed Jill will gain Rush. Then, you can place the card at the top or bottom of your deck. This gives you some extra aggression off your ace's free play, or lets you punish your opponent for lowering their defenses by just playing the Speed Jill from hand and setting up a Whitebeard type card beforehand with your Marco leader ability. Plus, if you want Speed Jill to attack into a character with the Rush, your Marco's ability will have reduced it by 2,000 power. Next, we have Atmos, another 4-cost 5k power character with 1k counter. And on play, you may reveal 2 cards with Whitebeard Pirates type from your hand. Then if your leader has Whitebeard Pirates type, return one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less to their hand. Paired with your new ace, you're paying 5 Dawn for 11k worth of power and getting up to 13 Dawn value in a swing between the 9 Dawn worth of cards you played and the cost 4 card you can reset to your opponent's hand with Atmos. And if you're worried about giving your opponent too much information off the reveal part of that effect, doesn't really matter, because when you activate your Marco's effect, they don't get to see what card you're putting on top of your deck or at the bottom of your deck. So for all they know, those cards are gone. So you can show them really bad cards and they just know you're going to get rid of them, right? So, you know, no information lost. Or you can show them like pretty decent cards and they have to worry about whether they're still in your hand or not, allowing you to make some pretty good bluff decision making. And even if they're not as good without on-play abilities, hitting cards like your new King Do, which is a 2k counter that can boost himself up to 6k power, or this new Thatch, which will draw you a card if your opponent tries to remove him with a card effect, are great things to populate off Ace. But guys, Whitebeard Pirates are not a new archetype, and we're not stuck to just these blue cards. Your new 5-drop Ace can also find and play plenty of old powerhouses, like OP02's Blocker Marco, which is a 4-cost 5k power character with 1k counter, and an on-KO ability that lets you play him from the trash, rested, by trashing a Whitebeard Pirates card from your hand while your life is at 2 or less. Or you can set up great combo plays by playing OP02's Vista, a 3-cost character with on-play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with power 3,000 or less. So you can activate your leader's ability to place him on top of your deck, and reduce an opponent's character by 2,000 power. Then, play your 5-cost ace, cheating Vista off the top of your deck, and KOing the card you reduced off leader. And if you're flipping blindly off the top of your deck, it doesn't hurt to even hit something small like your OP03 Ezo, a 1-cost 2k power character with 1k counter that is your on-play searcher for Whitebeard Pirate cards. But listen, I'm not gonna hype you over just this ace. We're trying to do this, but bigger. And that's thanks to OP06's Sanji, a 9-cost 9k power character with on play, reveal the top card of your deck and play it if it's a character with a cost of 9 or less, other than Sanji. Before, this card was struggling to find a home outside of Doflamingo, which was the only deck constantly rearranging the top of their deck. But thanks to your leader Marco, you can easily leverage Sanji on your 10 Dawn turns by activating leader effect, putting a powerhouse card on top of your deck, then cheating that card into play by playing Sanji. And thanks to our Marco being Whitebeard Pirates traded, we're not even starting at like huge 9-cost cards. We actually have a crazy 7-drop option in Porcus D Ace from OP02, a 7-cost 7k power character with on play, give up to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 3000 power. Then, if your leader is a Whitebeard Pirates type card, he gains Rush. Ace is an absolute powerhouse that we'd already want to play in a deck with Marco leader, but having the ability to play it off the top of your deck along with a 9k body is absolutely insane and would definitely turn the tables on a lot of your matches. Plus, what's better than just having a Whitebeard in your Whitebeard Pirates deck? Cheating into play. And OP02's Edward Newgate is exactly that. A 9-cost 10k power character. With on play, your leader gains 2000 power until the start of your next turn, boosting it for offense and defense. Plus, it has a Dawn 2 when attacking ability that KOs one of your opponent's characters with 3000 power or less. So for 9 Dawn, we're getting 18 Dawn worth of bodies, 19k worth of power, and giving your leader a temporary 2000 power buff for a turn cycle. Plays like this are easily going to close out any game you're ahead of or stabilize you if you're behind. That is the power of this combination play that Marco gives you full access to at any time. Plus, you know, these last 3 examples have been old cards. You're watching a video on a new leader to see crazy new cards, so let's not wait any further. Check out this option, the brand new Silver's Rayleigh from OP08. An 8-cost, 8k power character with on play, choose up to 2 of your opponent's characters, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, one of them gets minus 3000 power, and the other gets minus 2000. Then, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a power of 3000 or less. With the power reduction lasting for both the turn it's played and your opponent's next turn, Rayleigh can completely invalidate attackers, blow up important pieces of their board, and set up your opponent's rested characters to be attacked into more easily with his reduction. Plus, with your leader's ability, he can KO up to a 7k power character. But this actually is a great point to start pivoting into the other strength of Marco, being able to do lots of board control through power-based reduction to leverage better combat steps, and using power-based removal. This is a playstyle we already have a lot of support around, as it was the main focus in OP02's Edward Newgate and OP03's Porcus D Ace Whitebeard support. Characters like Arvista and OP03's Marco can KO while generating a body, while events such as OP02's Seaquake and OP03's Fire Fist trade in KO stapled onto a character in order to KO even more efficiently. But thanks to your Marco leader having built-in power reduction, you're able to give them even more reach than before. Your Vista and Marco can pop up to 5k power worth of characters without playing any additional reduction cards, while Fire Fist can take out up to a 7k power character or get you 2 medium bodies hitting a 6k and a 5k base. Seaquake can be especially devastating at just 1 Dawn, because with leader, it's KOing up to a 5k power character. But stack that with the on-play ability of a 7-cost Ace or a Rayleigh, and for 1 Dawn, you're KOing an 8k power character. Marco gives these cards reach like never before, especially without having to add power reduction cards, especially events, that can be clunky in your hand and unplayable at times, especially when you don't have the right combination of cards to pair it with. And if you still want to play reduction cards like that, well, Marco makes it easier to find them and then get rid of them from hand when you have too many. But at this point, we need to start looking at the new Starter Deck 15 coming out in October. Because if we're talking about the power of Marco's reduction-based combination play, we cannot talk about it without looking at this new powerhouse. The new Edward Newgate character, a 7-cost 8k power character with on play, give your leader or up to one of your characters a rested Dawn. So on your 7 Dawn turn, you can play him while still being able to activate Marco's ability. Then you have his Activate Mate ability, which lets you rest this card and KO an opponent's character with a cost of 5,000 or less power. That targeting range is already great, but again, on your 7 Dawn turn, you'll actually be able to still activate leader ability first, KOing up to a 7k power character. And since it's an activate main ability, you can use it on the following turns after resolving cards like 7-cost Ace or Silver's Rayleigh. Stack a leader ability on top of those cards, and Edward Newgate is KOing up to 10k power characters. And a really key reason, aside from that KO reach this card is good, is that on play, give Arrested Dawn. This makes sure that even on curve, you're making sure to utilize your Dawn properly to put out good threats, but you're still able to activate your leader effect, allowing you to sculpt great hands still, or fight on board better by reducing cards turn over turn over turn. If you can draw and top deck, bottom deck a card during a turn, you pretty much should with Marco to make sure your hands are the most optimal cards to play, or the most optimal cards to counter with. That's why in my builds, I've been including copies of EB01 Ezo, a 5-cost 7k power character with on play, give Arrested Dawn to your leader or character. But they also have the once per turn ability on your opponent's attacks that lets you trash 1 card from your hand, and if your leader is Land of Wano or Whitebeard Pirates traded, give up to one of your opponent's leader or character cards minus 2,000 power for the turn. This allows you to convert a lot of your non-counter cards into 2k counters, or just get good value upgrading your 1k counters into 2k counters. This paired with such a large body is a perfect on-curve threat for Marco as a 4-life leader to stem off some of the aggression. And if all the interaction and removal of this deck has you so excited that you're thinking, well, now I'm kind of afraid of the mirror match where my opponent's going to do all this stuff to me. Well, it's important to note, your characters are super sticky and insulated from a lot of this interaction. Obviously, we have our new Thatch that can replace himself and a 4-cost blocker Marco. But we also have that 5-cost Marco I mentioned earlier, which has a similar on-KO ability that says, when it's KO'd, you may trash an event card from your hand to play him from the trash rested, no matter what your life total is. And thanks to Starter Deck 15, we also have a brand new 5-cost Porcus D Ace. Yep, there's 2. There's a red and a blue. My boy's getting some love. A 6k power character with 1k counter who has Rush if your leader is Whitebeard Pirates. Plus, once per turn, if you be removed from play by any of your opponent's card effects, you can give him minus 2,000 power instead. With this stacked suite of multiplay characters and strong power reduction and power-based KO to pair with it and control the board, this Marco deck offers not just interactive and powerful strategies, but from deck building to gameplay, the ability to change up what you're going to do game to game to maneuver around your opponent's gameplay or what you think the big meta share of your event is going to end up being. That makes the deck both exciting every single game and what hallmarks it as an extremely powerful option. But, you know, if I'm going to show you all the cool new Whitebeard cards we're getting, how could I not show you the piece de resistance? And that is this brand new Edward Newgate, a 10-cost, 12k power character. With on play, if your leader is Whitebeard Pirates type, and you have 2 or less life until the end of your opponent's next turn, all of your opponent's characters cannot attack unless the opponent trashes 2 cards from their hand. And that's 2 cards per character. So if your opponent has 3 characters in play they want to attack with, they'll need to have and trash 6 cards if they're all going to attack. It's an insanely powerful body, forcing your opponent to take their foot off the gas or give up plenty of resources to commit to their aggression, which could be their downfall when you crack back on the following turn. But being locked to both blue and Whitebeard Pirates type leaders, Marco is in an extremely unique position along with yellow blue ace to play this powerhouse that can completely turn the game. And I know we spent a lot of this video looking at the new Whitebeard cards and Whitebeard cards in general because they combo play so well and fit into the giant toolbox you're building with. But let's not forget, there are tons of generically powerful red and blue cards you are more than welcome to play in this deck, like OP01's Otama, a 2k counter that's also a 1-cost power reducer for 2,000. OP06's Pudding, which can reset an opponent who's been stockpiling their hand by making them shuffle it all back in and draw a new 5. Kid and Killer can be used to push the aggression, or Gravity Blade can easily 2-for-1 your opponent's board with bottom deck removal. But with all these tools at your disposal, making it maybe a little hard to find a place to start, why don't you check out this multiplay swarm version of the deck that topped a Singapore flagship event. Or if you want a more interactive power reduction based version, there's this one that took first in a standard battle in Malaysia. And if you're looking for some gameplay to talk about and show off the deck, members are getting an exclusive live stream the day this video goes public, as well as always having up to 2 weeks early access to all of our videos. So you can come spend some time with me tonight if you're public by supporting the channel, or if you're a member, you just mark it on your calendar. You know how calendar? You mark your treasure cups and your regionals on your calendar. Use it for the video stream. But if you're looking for more guides on the new OP08 leaders or some more fun One Piece content, make sure to subscribe and check out the channel.